Good evening. I'm Christine.
I am Aiden.
And we are Friction Farm. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are coming to you from the Blue Room at 20 Oaks.
South a couple hours, Highway 1 in July showers, Northern California fading slowly. A country bar every country mile, we could be out here a while. These kind of places used to scare me, till I saw knowing glances on unfamiliar faces in these wide open spaces. Ocean air fills up my lungs, cool green grass and white hot sun. Let the crashing waves hypnotize me. Sunny days bring sunny smiles, running barefoot like a child, laughing when the shifting tides surprise me. In a million years I never thought I'd find my saving graces in these wide open spaces. 40 years and a million miles, I have grown so far from that simple child, building sand castles just to watch them fall. Maybe I haven't grown at all. I stood here before I knew you. They shot a rocket to the moon. Back then, anything could happen. Endless summer turned endless years, took me far away from here. Reaching for the stars gave way to reason, but I found that sense of wonder I had lost for ages in these wide open spaces. I found that sense of wonder in these wide open spaces.
It's funny to be singing about wide open spaces when we are mostly in smaller, confined spaces. But I can still picture them. That's a good thing. So if you've been to many of our shows, y'all have heard this song or this story behind the song for 100 times. You're probably sick of it, sorry. But there might be some new people here.
Yay for the new people.
Hi, new people. I hope you're here.
Thanks for coming.
So Aiden and I both love to read, and we picked up a book that we had both been looking for a while called Voyage of the Beagle. It's by Charles Darwin, and it's his journal of his trip around the world. And we were planning on using that as an inspiration for writing. And it turned out to be quite inspiring, but not for the reason we thought. Inside the front cover, there was an inscription, and it said, "To Katie on her 14th birthday, love Granddaddy Paul." It was dated July 1961. And we love that idea that Granddaddy Paul would influence his granddaughter in that way to encourage her towards science and exploration and travel.
Katie, raise your sails, Set your sights on the western sky. Just beyond the next horizon, chase your dreams and you will find them. Trust the current, trust the wind, trust yourself to find the way. Reach for mountains, reach for stars, reach a little farther every day. Don't make up your mind. Let the answers find you. With curiosity, your guide, you never know what you will find. Trust the current, trust the wind, trust yourself to find the way. Reach for mountains, reach for stars, reach a little farther every day. When you write it down, Katie, brace for thunder. Fear may storm the gates of reason, but the light of truth shines like a beacon. Trust the current, trust the wind, trust yourself to find the way. Reach for mountains, reach for stars, reach a little farther every day. Katie, raise your sails. Set your sights on the western sky.
And yet another song about traveling when none of us can do that. We feel pretty lucky to live where we do. We have a nice bit of property with a good view, and that's helpful. We built our house ourselves with our own muscle, our own ideas, our own ineptitude.
If you're over 30, I highly don't recommend that.
And you better make sure you like each other a lot before you undertake something like this together, because it's a tense and frustrating situation. So many of those exhausting, tense moments occurred. And we got to a point in the building process where we could sort of feel that building. We knew something was going to give really soon. And it was really almost a relief when we finally had it out. And I was like, at least the air is clear again. So if you are sequestered with someone and you're starting to feel that tension build, just know that it'll feel like a really great relief once it finally gives way.
Damned if I know how the whole thing came unwound. It was all smooth sailing, then the ship just ran aground. Now we're stuck here in the doldrums till high tide, steady wind, trying to make up our minds about each other again. Well, the was a time I could read the sky, how the clouds moved and where the birds would fly. I don't know the reason, I don't think about it much. There's a subtlety to seasons, I have lost my touch. We are at the mercy of the wind and of the tide. Sometimes calm is worse than the storm. We are at the mercy of the waves deep inside. Sometimes calm is worse than the storm. First I was angry at the sky and at the sea, convinced that they had conspired against me. It was a strange way of thinking. In the heat I had gone mad. As my hopes were sinking, rage was all I had. When my mind was still, I could hear my own heartbeat, feel the sun on my skin, the sand beneath my feet. Knew that it was my choice if this was hell or paradise. And if it's up to me, well, I will not think twice. We are at the mercy of the wind and of the tide. Sometimes calm is worse than the storm. We are at the mercy of the waves deep inside. Sometimes calm is worse than the storm. After 19 days, the tempest tipped her hand. Rain came down, water reached the land. As quick as she was stranded, my ship was on the main. Not as I had planned, but I was captain again. We are at the mercy of the wind and of the tide. Sometimes calm is worse than the storm. We are at the mercy of the waves deep inside. Sometimes calm is worse than the storm. Calm is worse than the storm. Calm is worse than the storm. Calm is worse than the storm.
So we do have fantastic views of the Blue Ridge Mountains at home. And we also have amazing skies. I mean, during the day we have theoretically, I suppose we have a decent sunrise. I've yet to see it. But
I've seen it.
We have nice sunsets over the mountain. And it's amazing as you look out and the clouds shift and the sun shifts. It's like an ever-changing painting. Here in the Blue Room, the room is named for the painting behind me. It's by a guy named William Withers III. It's called Untitled Sky, and that notion just very much appealed to us. That it's just a painting that keeps changing, so you can't name it. And we're lucky to have that real thing and painting.
1, 2, 3, 4.
See the stars
At 2 a.m., so many stars.
The sky was dense with glitter. The Milky Way was ours. Now they've taken back their shine,
Left only empty sky behind.
all our artificial light renders us night vision blind. The last glimpse of infinity flickers, then it's gone. When the last star dies of loneliness, what will we make wishes on?
scattering, reflecting rays
that alter rhythms with their glow.
The oceans used to seem so vast,
Nighttime there will surely last,
but the fishing boats with all their rigging
swallow darkness as they pass. The last glimpse of infinity flickers, then it's gone. When the last star dies of loneliness, what will we make wishes on? See the stars at 2 a.m. So many stars. The sky was dense with glitter. The Milky Way was ours. The last glimpse of infinity flickers, then it's gone. When the star dies of loneliness, what will we make wishes on? What will we make wishes on? What will we make wishes on?
So there's been a lot happening in the world lately. I suppose there always is. There's been a lot happening in our country lately. I guess there always is. And interestingly, there's been a lot happening in our region. There have been more marches and protests than I would have imagined, and that makes me very happy. Lots of people getting involved, getting out voter registration, and all sorts of amazing things. And I think that's going to make a difference. I don't think change just happens with all the big things. I think change is an accumulation of a lot of little things. And whether you're a person that can march or protest, or whether you're a very staunch activist, or whether you're just a person who can do a little tiny bit, you contribute to things changing.
I got a little work to do around my house. Dust bunnies in the corner, big enough to scare a real mouse. Nothing's gonna get clean around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got a little work to do around my yard. Weeds growing everywhere make tomatoes work too hard. Nothing good will ever grow around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got a little work to do Cracks in public buildings might bring this whole thing down. Nothing's gonna get fixed around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. Guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. Never thought I'd matter much with just two small hands and a personal touch. I looked around for goodness sake. One more little push might be all it takes. We got a little work to do around this place. You and me together might be all it takes. We can set things right round here. If we do our part, we got a little work to do. I guess we better start. We got work to do. I guess we better start. We got work to do. I guess we better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. And you got work to do. I guess you better start. We got work to do. We got work to do. We've got work to do.
So thank you again for being here and joining us this evening for some music. I know that some of you tune in to hear us a lot, and you've seen us out live a lot.
And thank you.
And thank you. So we thought we would do some songs that we don't play that often live, including that last one, which will probably be on our next album, and this one, which is on the last CD, and I'm not sure why we don't play it very often. It was written in 2016 on the day after the election. We were stuck in the car for a couple days, and so we had a lot of time to think about what had happened and to grieve a little bit for what had happened. And one of us felt sort of angry about what had happened, and they were saying bad things about people who helped make that happen. I'm not going to say which one of us that was.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So as we do, we decided to write it out, and as often happens in the writing, if not in our conscious brains, a more peaceful and a unifying solution presented itself.
Passage just above the James, the first week of November, the leaves were red with change. A bitter wind blew from the east, cold steel through my heart, in a storm of angry voices. How can the healing start? Take comfort from the tall trees. They survive the cold. They can spread their branches because their roots took hold.
I will gather up my tools to do the work that must be done. Build a place of refuge where all my friends can come. They will fill the house with kindness, it will overflow with love. We have everything we need to rise above.
Take comfort from the tall trees. They survive the cold. They can spread their because their roots took hold. We'll see what we've created, marvel at what's made by those who loved instead of hated. Will we lock our doors as others once had done? We see they're on a narrow passage, their journey's just begun. Take comfort from the tall trees, they survive the cold. They can spread their branches because their roots took hold. Because their roots took hold. 2 more winters, 2 more springs, 2 more summers, we will not fall. We will not fall.
Because our roots took hold.
We will not fall.
We will not
And for those of us who see us, those of you who see us, I'm getting us confused, you and I know the difference. For those of you who see us an awful lot. You've even heard that last one. So here's one that only a handful of people have heard. This is a new song, and we did this on our Patreon account for our patrons.
Thanks, patrons.
Patreon pals. We don't know what to call you.
Patreon people.
Okay. And they got to come into the studio and watch us record this next song in pieces, and they suffered through some kind of horrible soloing of vocal and bass and things like that.
What fun.
Which no one should ever have to hear, but they did, and they got to see how the whole thing came together into this song. Oh, I should tell you something about it. So we, I guess it's a thing when you get to be a certain age, you start to lose friends, and it's an impossibly tough thing, although I guess it at least says that we have friends and they're people who really matter, and that's a good side of it. But lately, in the past few months, we've also lost a couple of friends, and that has been even harder because we can't get together with people. But also for the people that we've lost, they didn't get that last period of time to keep living out every second the way they wanted to. And they still, quite honestly, amazed me with how they really breathed every breath.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We got the phone call, took in the hard news. We cursed and we shouted, reversed and we doubted, but we could not refuse. Our days are counted, but they're not done yet. We make plans with a deadline, our hands work against time. We don't hedge our bets. I won't settle for anything less. Please don't settle for anything less. A full measure of laughter, big thrills and heartaches, no regrets, nothing less. just kids. That long summer day, flew our bikes up the dirt road down to the swimming hole, worked hard at our play. When did we grow up? Get good at the game. Did what was expected, the rest was neglected for the day and night rain. I won't settle for anything less. Please don't settle for anything less. A full measure of laughter, big thrills and heartaches, no regrets, nothing less. Now we watch the sunrise turn into sunset. Reclined on the front porch, firefly burns his torch. If that's all we get, I won't settle for anything less. Please don't settle for anything less. A full measure of laughter, big thrills and heartaches, canoes out on Silver Lake, no bad books or movies, more chocolate cake, the good wine in the good glasses, and no regrets.
So my one regret of this time is that we're homebound, which I'm grateful for, and I know we're in a lot better position than many people, but we like to be out there. We like to be out there.
These people are going,
You're
they are
already
out there.
That's what they're saying about you, not me.
Well, yeah.
So, and as soon as we can get out there again, we're going to go see all of it. Every bit of it, every wonderful, amazing bit of it, the natural wonders, the incredible architecture, the beautiful works of art, and all the crazy stuff people have been building in the last 3 months in their yards. I want to see scale models of all sorts of architectural wonders. I want to see sculptures and junk art, and I can't wait.
They call me Side Trips Quinn, it's a name I've earned for all the times that I have turned from the main drag on to a tangential road. The interstate system is fast and efficient. For most folks, A to B is sufficient, but I prefer a more circuitous mode.
Oh, the places we've been, the things we've seen, the good, the bad, the in-between, most times works out pretty well. We are perpetually late, curiosity seals our fate, but oh, the stories we could tell. Out where the pavement is unlined, might be smack dab in the middle of Sublime. But please keep this in mind, we wind up 3 blocks from sketchy from time to time. He took a wrong left turn and then another, so determined to discover mechanical creations by a strange French man. The neighborhood was looking mighty grim. He took 1 more left, though the odds were slim, saying 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts can.
Well, the neighborhood was past its prime, but she's exaggerating its decline. The man we met, he was brilliant and fascinating. He made a wind-up doll that took a drink. It turned and gave Christine a wink. It was amazing work he'd spent his life creating. True story.
Out where the pavement is unlined, might be smack dab in the middle of Sublime. But please keep this in mind. We wind up 3 blocks from sketchy half the time.
Well, there's Dinosaur World and Miniature Graceland, art cars,
Saltville,
Button Man, a beer can house made of empty beer cans,
These guys have too much time on their
a
hands.
giant garden gnome and a giant guitar,
The toenails of Elvis on display in a jar.
a taxidermy dog as a tap in a bar.
Some folks take it just a little too far. Whirly gigs made from recycled signs.
Tiniest church,
The biggest ball of twine.
Airstream trailers,
Some of this stuff will really blow your mind.
a tiki motel and a dog mausoleum,
Yards full of yard art ad nauseum.
teapot-shaped
Teapot museum. If you never leave the highway, you're never gonna see 'em. Out where the pavement is unlined, might be smack dab in the middle of Sublime. But please keep this in mind. We wind up 3 blocks from sketchy most of the time.
Well, if you think it's just about the stuff, well, you don't know me well enough. I want to meet the folks that create this roadside art. Maybe catch a glimpse, or just a feeling, the kind that sets my senses reeling. I want to learn what's in their minds and in their hearts.
Out where the pavement is unlined, might be smack dab in the middle of Sublime. But please keep this in mind. We wind up 3 blocks from sketchy all the time. But we always have a good time. We hope you have had a good time here with us. Thank you again for joining us. In the description of the concert, there is a PayPal link if you feel so inclined, but please do not feel in any way obliged. What I'd like to obligate you to do, and I'm not obligating you, but it would be very nice if you subscribed to our YouTube channel. It is as easy as clicking a button, doesn't cost you anything, doesn't end up with stuff in your email box. It just helps us out behind the scenes. Subscribe to our channel. Also, if you've enjoyed some of the music that you've heard tonight, it is available on our website, www.frictionfarm.com. You can stream, you can download, you can buy physical hard copy CDs. Remember those?
I remember those. I love CDs.
And while you're on our website, sign up for our newsletter. It's usually, for me, it might have been from you once in the past 3 years. I don't know. It's usually from me about once a month, and I tell you what's going on around here. And it's not a bad read.
It's really good, actually. Even my mother likes it.
She's a tough critic.
She is.
So thanks again. We're going to do one last song, and this is another song that will be off the forthcoming album.
Mother never thought my daughter would still fight to speak her mind, to have a say in her own civil rights. When men declare her voice categorically dismissed, there will always be women who persist. There will always be, there will always be women who persist. There will always be, there will always be women who persist. My forefathers came by ship, together with their clan. Architects of their own dreams, was this part of the plan? For every thug who guards the gate with a raised, clenched fist, there will always be men who coexist. There will always be, there will always be men who coexist. There will always be, there will always be men who coexist. One misguided spark falls on tinder to ignite a raging fire growing much too big to fight. Malicious mobs may tattoo numbers onto wrists. There will always be angels in our midst. There will always be, there will always be angels in our midst. There will always be, there will always be angels in our midst. Be a woman who persists, be a man who coexists. Be an angel, be an angel, be an angel in our midst. There will always be, 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 there will always be angels in our midst.
Thank you.
Thanks again for spending your evening with us. We hope that we get to see you again very soon here and somewhere out there. We're Friction Farm. Good night.
Bye.